Here with Jesse Litsch, the current pitching coach for the Bridgeport Bluefish and former Major League pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. So Jesse, before you even became a professional player, you had a connection to professional baseball by being a bat boy for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at a young age. What do you remember about those times and that experience being with the professional players at a young age?
It definitely helped mold me to who I am today. Being around the clubhouse, being in the major leagues as a bat boy helped me to grow as a person, as a player, and helped me get to where I need to be pitching wise. And I always told the guys I would be up there with them, and they didn't believe me, but it definitely happened.
Definitely. You drafted by Toronto in 2004, made the big leagues with them in 2007. Who were some of the mentors that you had over there in Toronto, maybe a player or a coach that really helped you while you're up there?
In the minors, a guy named Daryl Knowles helped me out a lot. He pitched a long time in the major leagues with Oakland Athletics and a couple other teams. But as far as the big leagues, you kind of go off of everybody. You go off of each other, and having AJ Burnett around helped me out a lot. He was a guy that was always open to help and any kind of questions you had. So he helped me out a ton. He helped all us young guys out.
Yeah. Playing in the major leagues, stadiums are bigger. A lot more fans than minor league ball. When you're pitching on a major league mound, though, are you able to block out the fan noise or any distractions, or are you able to focus in on the hitter easily and play like you're playing in the backyard or something like that?
It's definitely a different atmosphere than say here, but as a player, you got to be able to let everything out. You got to be able to mold everything out. If certain places you go, certain times in the game, you'll hear people if you're still pitching in the 8th inning in Fenway, when they're singing Sweet Caroline, it's pretty cool to step off the mound and hear it, because once the music stops, they're still singing. So certain things you hear, but as far as people ragging on you, stuff like that, you definitely that's nothing that bothers you by any means.
Do you have any games that stand out to you up there that the crowd was really electric and really into the game?
Definitely my debut. It was cool. That was one of obviously my best memory from being in the big leagues. But any game you go to Fenway, any game you go to Philly, New York, there's always big crowds, and in Toronto, 2008 we had a chance of a playoff run in September, so the crowds started getting a lot bigger. Now in Toronto they're winning a lot, so there's a lot of fans there, and it's a different atmosphere. And fans don't realize, but when you have home field advantage and you have your fans, it's definitely a big plus.
Awesome. Now, throughout your major league career, you had some injury issues which forced you to early retirement that I'm sure you wanted to. How do you overcome adversity like that when you keep hearing different injuries that you suffered, and you're probably feeling better, and then they're like, hey Jess, you need Tommy John surgery, or hey Jess, you need cartilage replacement? So how do you overcome hearing that news and that adversity?
It's definitely a bummer. I definitely didn't think I'd be coaching at age 31. I'd still be playing, but it's something. It's life. Things happen for a reason. I'm a big believer in that, and that happened. It was out of my hands. It happened in a doctor's office, and there's nothing really I can do about it. It's just something that was part of the plan for me, whether that's staying and coaching next year or doing whatever it may be. It's something that life brings at you, and you got to be able to overcome adversity, and that's definitely what it is.
Yeah. In other interviews, you've mentioned before that Dustin Pedroia is the hardest hitter you faced against. What makes Dustin Pedroia so tough? And are there any other players besides Pedroia that stand out to you that you might have a little difficulty with?
Pedroia just puts the bat on everything. He's a scrappy hitter. He's hard to strike out, and a guy that's hard to strike out always puts bat on ball. There's a chance of him getting a hit. Obviously there's a lot of really good hitters out there. Miguel Cabrera, he's a great hitter, and he's a tough out. You just he's a guy you try and get out early, and it's something that every pitcher has a problem with because he's such a good hitter.
Do you have any favorite major league ballparks out there that you played at?
Definitely Fenway is probably the most memorable. That's just a place. You go in Old Yankee Stadium. Just places that are known for the past, known for people, old timers that have played there. Those are always the best to play in. Anaheim is a great ballpark for the atmosphere.
Now, last year you worked for Major League Baseball, went over to China, I believe, and worked at their development academy over there. Talk about your role over there in China, and what age group were you mostly working with?
I mean, it was definitely the China Development Center, and I was running all the pitching over there. It was from ages middle school to high school, and just trying to go about the everyday life of baseball. And these kids have a tough road. It's a great thing for them to be able to go to school, learn English, go to learn baseball. It's a new sport in China, so it's definitely coming along. It's been there, I think, 8 years now, and the growth that it's shown and the players that it's coming out with is definitely a note to what they've been doing. They just had their first professional player sign in Baltimore, so that's a big plus for the country of China in the baseball world.
Yeah. Now this season you're being the pitching coach for the Bridgeport Bluefish in the Atlantic League. What has that transition been like, being the pitching coach here and getting to work with some of the Bluefish pitchers?
I mean, it's definitely a different game, but as far as the pitchers, I mean, most everyone here has a lot of experience, a lot of, some guys got major league time, a lot of them have major league time actually. So, they know how to pitch, they know how it is. There's just, minor things that you may need to work with here and there, but as far as how the game's played, it's the same game wherever you play. So they know what they're doing. As long as they show up on time, they do their work. I mean, everything's going to be done. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. Yeah. You just got to live with them and move on to the next one.
Yeah. Final question for you. I know you're kind of new to the Atlantic League, but I'm sure you're kind of used to it now after experiencing the first half and playing against all the teams. What are your thoughts on the town level here in the Atlantic League? And do you see yourself coaching in this league again next year with Bridgeport or another team?
I mean, the talent level, it shows to itself. I mean, so many ex-Major League Baseball players. There's a lot of guys that have played a lot of years in the minor leagues. It's just a matter of having another place to play. Some organization might not have had room for them. Another organization might not know who this guy is. So they come here to show their talent, and there's a lot of scouts in the stands to be able to watch them. As far as me, I don't know what my future holds at this point. I'm getting through this year. Hopefully we win the second half and make the playoffs.
Appreciate it, Jesse. Thanks so much.
Thank you.